What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to yet another episode of Smart Money Sundays. Hope you had a wonderful week and are excited for the week ahead. New week, new opportunities in the market. Obviously, if you're part of VIP, you know we had a great week, nice 13% gain with our trade ideas. So if you're not part of that, be sure to message us on Telegram at ArielFX Trading so you can earn while you are learning. Okay, but we're going to start off here as usual on EURUSD. And obviously last week, we weren't expecting such a sharp reversal here on the dollar. Okay, and we didn't meet our higher time frame objectives. Okay, and obviously that was the old gap in price where I expect to see sensitivity as well as ultimately our inefficiency here at 1.1. Okay, so I am still sticking to that price point objective. And any move prior to meeting that objective I view as retracement, even as strong as a move as we saw last week with this engulfing candle. Now, in this enduring downtrend that we've been in, don't let this 1 week kind of fool you, especially as we haven't met our targets. Okay, and so I'm treating this as a nice push into premium for one final swing to the downside. Okay, and so looking at this from the daily time frame, we have an old POI here that we probably talked about weeks and weeks ago, unless it was over the holiday when we were taking a break. But obviously we have this low in price that was never retested. Okay, and so viewing this high, which really didn't come into anything, as liquidity to be run for price to come into our higher time frame POI. Okay, so for EU, I really want to see us trade into obviously the low here, into the high within the supply. Okay, and then look for distribution coming into the week and a nice sell-off, or just a quick run through the high and a nice buy to sell, trading all the way back down into our higher time frame levels. Okay, I don't think this is the low within the market. I think ultimately, again, we're going to run down into our final objectives for this downward swing higher time frame on EURUSD. Okay, and so this is quote unquote our last structure point, lower high, that produced our last lower low. We really won't break structure, in my opinion, unless we get a solid close above and maintain and reaccumulate. Okay, otherwise we could simply run it, fail to close above this high here, and we wouldn't have technically broken trend, and we'll trade on down. Okay, so this is kind of a very critical price point here. Sorry, that's a terrible circle, but you get the point. Okay, so in my opinion, any trades down to begin the week through Friday's low, that gives us a good excuse to get one more buying opportunity into our POI here. Again, looking for distribution, probably London open, New York open, for a continued sell-off. Okay, so that is really what I'd like to see on EU. We do have relative equal highs here. It did run the old high already by just a pip or two, I believe. And so I think we're going to need to press further into this liquidity and at least retest this old low. Okay, so it would be nice, guys, if we open and trade down. I think that'll give us good cause to buy within this imbalance here. Okay, back up into the highs, through these highs, and into this old low. Okay, and then we can look for our last shorting opportunity and catch a ton of pips, high RR, back down to the downside. All right, so that's EU, and Euro has been stronger than kind of the GBP and AUD. And so we have some slight disparities, which I'm about to break down a little bit on GU. Obviously on GU, we traded into our up close candle here on the daily time frame. We are without a doubt in a daily downtrend. Okay, easy stuff, lower lows and lower highs. Okay, we do still have nice liquidity within these lows that will be taken out. Okay, and that gives us good validation for, you know, EU going ahead and taking out this low here. Okay, GU, I can tell you that this is more than likely a very high probability that this is not a low in the market. Okay, and that we're going to run through and purge. Okay, so with that in mind, again, we traded into this up close candle here with a nice reaction. Okay, and last week we had a nice, obviously 3-hour, a lot of you in the community I know we're looking at this level, this 3-hour up close that ran through trendline liquidity. Okay, so classic textbook sponsor candle here, and we had the reaction down. Okay, now this is a little bit tricky, okay, because you could kind of classify this obviously as lower time frame structure that has been broken here. Okay, and shift trend on the lower time frame for a pullback to go short. Now, oftentimes when you see these kind of linear moves up, these internal structure points, you know, when you break through, what I oftentimes see is that it's kind of a false break, especially when you have a deep candlestick full bodied through the low. Oftentimes it signals to me that it's kind of a false break of structure. Now, sometimes it does work, okay? And this could be a lower low now, and price will pull back for a lower high and short off. It could be, and that would be fine, because ultimately we are in a downtrend and we're looking to take out those lows on the daily time frame. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a false break of lower time frame structure and price ended up trading up through the high again. We do have really clean equal highs here, and just kind of a lot of choppy price action, not a very solid reaction down to the downside. Okay, and so that kind of also signals to me that this isn't the top. Okay, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we did pop up on GU, kind of like we expect to pop up on EU. Wouldn't be surprised if we get one more pop up through the high, trading deeper into this up close that ran the trend line liquidity here. Okay, I just wouldn't be surprised. So keep that in the back of your mind, that this may not be the high. This might be protected, but we more than likely, if we do make a run up, we'll take out this high here. Okay, and so just keep that in mind. I don't have a kind of pertinent setup here on GU. Again, it's not quite as strong. The pound is not quite as strong as the euro at the moment, and so we could very easily just open up, pop up, and sell off. Okay, and this would be a true break of structure here. Okay, but you know, with experience, you start to question these little BOSs like this. Okay, so moving on to the Aussie dollar. All right. Again, we are in a downtrend at the moment on the daily time frame. Okay, nothing really higher time frame has changed structurally from what we've been talking about for weeks. Okay, and we did lay out that price point objective here. I think it was last week or the week before. That objective for me has not changed yet. It's given me no cause to change my higher time frame bias at the moment. Okay, and so last week, obviously we had the up close candle. We had the relative equal highs, the up close, price traded into it once, traded away, ran through it one more time. Again, this high was protected. This was a sponsor candle, big buy to sell before an inefficient move. Okay, we ended up running this high but maintaining this sponsor candle here. Okay, with the subsequent potential BOS here. Now, just because we did trade into a higher time frame POI, this gives me more validation for this being a BOS. Okay, and so therefore, we now have a daily engulfing candlestick after having traded into our sponsor candle. Gives me more reason to what's the word? I like AU more than GU, okay? Just because of that. We did trade into a very strong POI. on AU, and now we have our daily inefficiency engulfing 1, 2, 3 pin to the downside. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if we did trade into this inefficiency or further into the body and could look for distribution to sell this thing down. Okay, so pretty simple, pretty straightforward on this. Okay, up close, running liquidity, trade into an up close that ran liquidity, mitigation training, teach it in the courses. If you haven't taken the courses, highly recommend it. You would know this stuff. You would be able to break this stuff down exactly like I'm doing now. We teach it all. We don't hold anything back. So if you're interested in that, please message us on Telegram at ArielFX Trading, and we'll set you up. But anyway, again, AU looks pretty good to me. Confirmation. Let's get a pullback into premium, look for distribution, confirmation of time and price, and look to take this thing down. Okay, so we have now covered our typical pairs, and I will, I guess, throw in NZD, USD, as it is relatively similar now to the analysis on the Aussie dollar. Okay, same type of up close candle here from a few weeks ago that ran liquidity, equal highs, create the inefficiency, retracement, corrective price action, hit the candle once, trade away, run through it one more time, run on liquidity, maintain this candle, strong reaction to the downside, potential break of structure here. All right, and so now this looks pretty good to me, just like AU for a retracement into premium, perhaps into this price point. You can see it's a sensitive level, okay, where we began our last run on the high before our break of structure. Okay, so that would look nice. 666 for a trade down. Okay, so pretty simple stuff on NU and AU. Again, keep in mind just the potential for these little BOSs here, especially when we have these strong moves down through a low. You know, just keep in the back of your head, same with GU, that, you know, this could be some type of one more run to the upside and then back down. Okay, but all in all, AU, NU, and GU have all traded into significant levels, which is nice, and had those reactions. Okay, so in terms of probability, we would expect those highs to be left intact. Okay, and then for us to follow suit with our higher time frame trend. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video and are enjoying this series. I think it's a really great way to start the week with strong points of interest and have higher time frame price points that we want to achieve, so that we have that in alignment with our daily bias and where we're looking to trade to during the week and at our session opens. All right, so mark these levels off. I hope you have a wonderful week. Again, if you'd like to be a part of our community, message us on Telegram at ArielFX Trading. I'll put the tag in the bio. Please be sure to like this video and share, and I hope you have a great week and happy trading.